now, even physically, there's no one there. Anyway, this is not the forum to complain about those things, but luckily for me, to confess to you the truth, after doing 3 years at the drama school, I didn't think there was anything that the Film Institute could teach me. That's what drama school does to you. And I arrived there, I was selected, to my great, enormous relief. I was chosen. I didn't expect to be. I thought I'd probably fail the screen test because I didn't look like a hero, I didn't look like a villain, I didn't look like a comedian, I didn't look like anything. I didn't look like any of the requirements of a Hindi film actor in any part, except perhaps the beggar who dies in the first reel. Anyhow, to my enormous relief, I was chosen. When I saw that screen test, I was appalled at what I saw. And I'm sure, I don't know if children of your generation can share, you know, what we felt the first time we saw ourselves on screen. You know, we grew up in a time when getting a photograph taken was an event. I remember my father telling us a week in advance, "Ek hafte baad photo khicwana hai, get your clothes ready, shave every day," and so on. And for 1 week, we were all deciding what to wear and this and that, and then we all went in this bus to Meerut to get our photographs taken in a studio, all sitting like this, looking very formal. And not only that, you know, there were no digital cameras. Buying a reel cost you about 4 rupees 50 paisa. I'm talking of when I was a child, which is a few centuries ago. And that was precious, you know, and then you had to get it developed. And then, having got it developed, you got to get it printed. And if you wanted it enlarged, there was a further hole in your pocket money. So the whole business cost about 15 precious rupees. And if you calculate the degree of inflation, that would come to today about 15,000 bucks. 15 rupees of the days when I was 12 years old to get 12 photographs. Hazy, unclear, small passport-sized ones. So for us it was a very big deal, for me at least. And even I would say for children from affluent families, because movie cameras were not at all common. There was no television. The telephone was a novelty. Computers were, we knew a computer as this one room-sized machine somewhere in America which has all the answers. That's all we knew about computers. So I don't think that you people would have faced, and today's children are being photographed from the moment they're born. Mommy or daddy is sitting over there with a mobile phone, recording the first moments of this child's life. So there's going to be no question of self-consciousness in front of the camera with you people, as we had. So I have a feeling that there's going to be a tremendous leap in the craft of acting in this country, in the coming generation. And it isn't just a coincidence that truthful acting, the stuff Taneja Saab talks about, and which he tries to illustrate by showing you films like Bicycle Thief, and repeating that acting is doing, not pretending. This happened in America in the 50s. The emergence of actors like James Dean and Marlon Brando and Montgomery Clift and others coincided with the proliferation of television. When television entered every household, people could see on television the difference between real behavior and between pretend behavior. They could see a victim of an accident being wheeled into a hospital. They could see a grieved widow weeping over her husband who died in a mine. They could see a politician putting on his masks, and so on. In interviews, they could see people actually conversing, not pretending to converse. So I have a feeling that the realization between false and truthful behavior became very apparent to the people of America, which is why this tremendous leap in the craft of acting in the 50s in America. It was a very lucky coincidence. I have a feeling the same thing is going to happen here, and you people are going to be at the forefront of it. And don't pat yourselves, don't congratulate yourselves too much that you've studied under Taneja Sahab, and don't delude yourselves that you've learned it all. Now, to introduce a note of warning, this is a day of celebration. I don't want to get too grim, but I feel it my responsibility to point this out to you. Your process of learning will never end. This may sound like a cliche, and it is. Perhaps it's been said so often that it's become a cliche. But the fact is that acting is the one sport in which you get better as you get older. Don't feel, and I'm sure there must be one or two of you who are concerned about I'm losing my hair, or I don't look good enough, or it is. We all have our own fears. They're nothing to be ashamed of. Those fears will not get in your way if you know your job. Those things you consider shortcomings can be your strengths. I realized very early in my life, and I wanted to be an actor since I was about 10 years old, I know that. I made a conscious decision to train myself from that age because I saw children in my class deciding that they wanted to join the army, or they wanted to join the navy, or they wanted to be an engineer or a doctor. There were very few options in those days. And I decided I wanted to be an actor. And why couldn't I decide then? And of course I couldn't confess it to anybody, unlike the others. And I had no clue how an actor trains himself. But all I did was observe people, and that's all I've done all my life. I observed them and I observed myself. And I could see my face in the mirror, and I knew I didn't look like Gary Cooper. Right? I knew I didn't look like Shammi Kapoor. And that was discouraging for a while, until I discovered that nature may not have given me that. It's the same way as nature compensates. If it takes away one of your senses, it gives you very sharper perception with the others. And in that way, nature compensated, because I realized that I had a face which could represent a real person. I may not ever be able to play Superman, right? But I could play his alter ego. I could play the ordinary man. And as it happened, I was very fortunate that when I emerged out of the institute, came into Bombay looking for work, movies which needed actors like me were being made. It was just a very lucky accident. It was not a conscious choice I made to confine myself to artistic movies. I did not know what art was. I did not become an actor to serve art. People don't become actors to serve art. They become actors because they want to meet girls. That's the truth. They become actors because they want to be famous. They want to be known. They want to be popular. They want to be rich. That's the truth. Face it. Now, that's not where your journey ends, though. That's what I've learned. Along the way, I've discovered other destinations, which mean more to me than all these that I've already mentioned. So it's up to you all to discover those, because the fame and wealth, if you want it, will come very easily. If you want it that badly, the whole universe conspires to make sure that you get it. You'll get it very easily. It's what you have to watch out for is what you do after that. If your dreams are limited only to having an air-conditioned car and an air-conditioned home, those will be fulfilled very easily, believe me. Nobody's stopped now. Not mine. Who would that be? I'd like to meet him. So this reminds me of a joke. Sorry, I have to break that up. There was an actor called Spike Milligan. He was a crazy old nut, a very funny actor, who was performing on stage. While he was performing, somebody from the front row got up and started walking out. So he said, "Excuse me, sir, out of the door, turn left, first door on your right. Take my name, they'll give you a good seat." So this poor fellow went out, and the poor misguided soul had to come back. So after a while, he came back, and Spike was in the middle of so he said, "Oh, you're back. Could you hear us while you were out there?" And this fellow says, no. He said, "Well, we heard you." Sorry, where was I? I've lost track of what I was saying. But yeah, it was just, really there's only one more thing. I don't want to make this too heavy and too long. How good an actor you become matters only to you, remember that. You'll meet people along the way who'll help you, who'll hold your hand for a while. But then they'll go their own ways, they have their own things in life to do. How good an actor you become is entirely up to you alone. Even your parents don't care. They're only concerned whether you can earn your bread. They're not concerned with whether you become the greatest actor in the world. They would rather you got 2 square meals a day. It's up to you to decide how good you want to become, and never feel you've learned enough, because there is no such thing as the perfect actor. There is no such thing as the perfect performance. Because perfection is the next stage before death, and I don't think anybody wants that yet. You cannot achieve perfection, but you must keep striving for it. That's all that I have to say. Thank you very much.